So let's go ahead and compare the mid-range Samsung Galaxy S23 FE with the Apple iPhone 15. So Samsung released yet another mid-range high-end Samsung Galaxy, and it competes very well against the iPhone 15. This phone is very interesting because it is priced lower than the S23, and it shares a lot of the same qualities. And it might be the perfect phone for a lot of people if they don't like iOS or paying all that money for an iPhone 15. So let's go ahead and give you all the differences. So both of these devices are 2023 devices, so they're pretty much released right around the same time. The Samsung is a little bit heavier than the iPhone 15 at 7.3 ounces versus the 6 on the iPhone. Build quality feel exactly the same. They both have glass and aluminum frames. For the connectivity, though, the Samsung beats the iPhone that has nano and eSIM, while the iPhone only has eSIM here in the US. Both are IP68 dust and water resistant. Now for the screens, they are different. The Samsung is rocking a bigger 6.4-inch display versus the iPhone's smaller 6.1-inch display. So a lot more content on the Samsung for your movies, for your games, for your web browsing. Pretty much everything is going to be probably more enjoyable on a bigger screen. For the refresh rate, another different story here. The Samsung has a better 120 hertz refresh rate versus the 60 hertz on the iPhone. For the OS, the Samsung launched with Android 13 with Samsung UI, iPhone iOS 17. As for storage, both of these start off at 128 gigs, but the RAM is different. Samsung is 8 gigs versus the iPhone 6 gigs, and neither of these have SD card expandability. Now for the cameras, the Samsung has 3 cameras versus the iPhone's 2 cameras. The Samsung has the 50 megapixel wide, 8 megapixel telephoto, 12 megapixel ultra wide. iPhone with 2 cameras, the 48 megapixel main, 12 megapixel ultra wide. Samsung has an advantage with the 8K video recording, while the iPhone has 4K. Now, neither of these have a headphone jack, but both are rocking Bluetooth 5.3. For charging, both of these devices have USB Type-C, which is new on the iPhone. Unlocking your device, Samsung has a little bit of variety. It has but its main one to unlock is fingerprint with under the display reader. The iPhone solely relies on Face ID. And also Samsung, the Samsung phone also has Samsung DeX for the desktop experience when you connect it to a monitor. As for battery life, the Samsung has a bigger 4500 milliamp battery versus the iPhone's 3349 milliamp battery. So both of these devices have fast charging. They charge 50% in around 30 minutes. They both have wireless as well. And the iPhone also has reverse wired charging, which is new because of the USB Type-C charger at the bottom. So for the price, the Samsung comes in with a decent $600 starting point. You can find it on Amazon and from Samsung. So that's pretty much sits right in the middle between the lower end and the flagship prices. The iPhone is at around $800. So price-wise, the Samsung is going to be the winner, especially when you get it on prepaid. You can get it on, for example, Metro here in the States. You could get it for like $100. So that's a really good deal. Putting it into perspective, you get more bang for your buck on the Samsung. So there's a strong case that can be made that the Samsung is a better device overall than the iPhone, even though it is a lower priced and is considered mid-range, but it has a lot of the same stuff that is found on the flagship Galaxy S23. The FE is pretty much just a little bit watered down, a little bit lower priced version of the S23. So let me just rattle off a couple of things that are just as good or better than the iPhone. So for a lower price, you're getting the same great build quality, glass back, aluminum frame. It has an advantage that it has a eSIM and a nano SIM card slot. It has a bigger display, a faster refresh rate. If you like taking quality video, the Galaxy has 8K resolution video recording, which is pretty much a flagship feature brought down to a lower price point. Both of these devices have 4K selfie cameras, so pretty much this is a really great camera going up against the iPhone at that price point. Now, another big advantage on the Galaxy is it has several ways of unlocking your device. Some people like that physical in-screen display fingerprint reader. Also, it uses your face as an option to unlock your device, and also smart lock. While the iPhone pretty much has the Face ID as its only way of unlocking the device. And then Samsung is a big thing. If you want a desktop experience, you can connect this device to a monitor, and you have DeX, which is pretty cool on a phone. Overall battery life is going to be better on the Samsung just because of that physical beefier 4500 milliamp battery, which will probably beat the iPhone in everyday situations. And it also has fast charging, so battery life should not be an issue on the Samsung, and will probably get better battery life than the iPhone. So all in all, there's a lot to like about the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE. It is a very, very surprising device, especially if you consider that you can get it on prepaid for $100 on Metro here in the United States. So you could pay $100 and get all of this extra stuff, or you could pay $800 on the iPhone and get a lot of things that are kind of outdated and are actually, they're just beatable when you put in the Samsung in this comparison. If you like, the iPhone will definitely be a better device for you if you just like the ecosystem, and if you want just raw video and picture quality overall, unless you want 8K on the Samsung, then that's probably the only reasons you want the iPhone. It still uses an old, slow 60 hertz refresh rate. It only has 2 cameras. It barely has USB Type-C now. It only has Face ID to unlock your device. You cannot expand the storage. So for $800, you're stuck with that storage. At least with the Samsung, it starts off at a cheaper price with the same amount of storage. It has a smaller screen. And just overall, if you like the ecosystem, Face ID, iMessage, and just like pure iPhone video quality and stuff like that, then yeah, that's for you for content creation. Then the iPhone and the ecosystem, that's what you should get, and it's a better device. But I think there's a lot to like about the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE. Better overall, more bang for your buck, very impressive, and you don't have to spend that $800 like you do on the Samsung S23. So there you have it, the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE and the iPhone 15.